Talker Nation, as we bring you our Week 1 NFL review. As always, this is your host, the G-Man. We're going to give you our own version each week of the fastest 3 minutes in sports. Howard Cosell can suck the big one. Chris Berman, I'm much better than you are. Let's get right to it. Tampa beat down Atlanta 31-24, and I say beat down because they had a large lead early. Jameis Winston was awesome. He's going to be the real deal this year. 2 huge touchdown passes. Minnesota, not awesome, but still had enough to beat Tennessee behind 2 defensive scores, 25-16. Tennessee offense looked awful. Minnesota's offense did not look better. I guess Sam Bradford might actually be the answer there. The Eagles crushed the Browns. We're going to talk more about that as our featured game, as I'm from Philadelphia. So fuck you. It's always going to be our featured game. Everything you could expect. The Browns are abysmal. They may not win a game this year. In what was a close game, but not necessarily a good game, the Bengals actually wound up winning 23-22 on the Jets. Late game heroics, another interception late in the game by Ryan Fitzpatrick took them down. Oakland 35-34 in what was probably the game of the day when there were a lot of games of the day. Oakland came down, scored at the end. Instead of going for 1 to tie it like everyone else does, went for 2 and got it. Fun game back and forth. Kansas City beat San Diego in a game for all you people who are Phillip Rivers fans. That's all you need to know about Phillip Rivers' career. 21-3 at one point, wound up losing 33-27 in overtime to a Chiefs team that has no dynamic offensive weapons. In the stinker of the week, Baltimore won 13-7 over Buffalo. Nothing interesting about that one. Houston put their new offense on display against a bad Chicago team with no identity who hung tough for a while. Houston wound up winning 23-14. Green Bay hung on against Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I still think, is an up-and-coming team. It's a shame that they're going to run into some good teams like that. They lost 27-23. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is absolutely ridiculous. He had one throw to Devontae Adams when he was basically laying on the ground and still threw a bullet. Seattle survives Miami 12-10. Russell Wilson throws a late touchdown pass to Doug Baldwin. Not an inspired effort by Seattle, so all your suicide pool holders, you were lucky to get a win there. Giants eked out a victory over Dallas 20-19. The Giants did nothing impressive. Dallas's defense is bad. New York's offensive line is awful, but they do have 2 really good young receivers. Victor Cruz even caught a touchdown, which was nice for Giants fans. So they actually did pretty well. 20-19, Dak Prescott couldn't lead them back. Detroit wins 39-35 in a game that was actually close to tie and then wound up with a late 2-point conversion or late field goal with less than a minute to go, and then a blown a safety on a kick return, so it wound up being a 4-point game, but another fun game back and forth. New England, behind Jimmy Garoppolo, who literally looked like my buddy Jason out there throwing the ball, takes down Arizona 23-21. Arizona's coach, Bruce Arians, has to be furious. New England just finds a way to win. No Gronk, no Brady, no Ninkovich, no problem. 23-21. Pittsburgh spanked Washington 38-16. Went for it twice on 4th down. Completed big passes. They're fun to watch. Washington, Kirk Cousins looks like he's not the real deal. 1 week in, so, I'm not going to kill the guy, but they looked really bad. Speaking of looked really bad, San Francisco, who I expect to be one of the worst teams in the league, beat down the Rams in their first game back in the, they weren't at home, but they were playing back in LA for the first time in years. 28-0 shutout. That team was so bad, and think about it, they drafted Jared Goff first, and he still couldn't even dress, and they were bad enough to lose 28-0. So there's your Week 1 review. Lots of great games. Hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll be back for a Week 2 recap, and as always, I'm your host, the G-Man, and I am out.